They're the highest rated tech company to work for on Indeed, have an annual revenue of over $9 billion and a huge range of internships from creative to scientific. But how do you get an internship at the company best known for creating Photoshop, Illustrator, and a whole host of other software products? Find out in this video. Hey guys, I'm Swazi from TapIn and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about how to get into one of the many global internships offered every year by the software giant Adobe. If you're a creative, don't stop watching here, as Adobe don't just offer roles in tech, but have lots of creative internships available too. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications to be informed whenever we make a new video. And while you're at it, comment down below to let us know if you've applied to Adobe or any other software companies for that matter. Let us know how you found it in the comments below. Now, let's get to the video. There are two different types of internships I'm going to be talking about today. One general internship for roles including product management, product design, marketing, software engineering, user interface engineering, and computer science. The second is their research internship, which gives you the opportunity to work for specific researchers and engineers. But the application processes are very similar, so don't worry if you're thinking about applying for one and not the other. There are so many benefits to interning for Adobe. Indeed rates them as the best tech company to work for due to their competitive salary, mentoring scheme, and staff discounts on Adobe software. Adobe also pride themselves in giving their interns multiple chances to network with individuals from across the firm, which is something most companies don't usually do. If you have a year in industry as part of your degree, it may be worth applying for one of the longer placements so you can get more experience. The good news is that you don't need any specific academic requirements to apply. They're more focused on experience and skill set, which we'll get to later. For the research internship, you need to be studying for a PhD or a master's in the relevant field to the researchers you want to contact. This may also be part of a year in industry, depending on how your course is structured. We'll be going over the application processes now, including how to ace your CV, cover letter, and interview. We'll also touch on the extra info the research internship needs at the end of the video. If you want to apply but are stressed that you don't have enough experience, don't worry. We will touch on ways to get more work experience in your chosen field. It's defo worth saying that previous interns have said how much the Adobe work environment allowed them to grow, improve, and practice. They want someone with potential, not someone who's already perfect at their job. So for both of these internships, you need to send a CV. Now for those of you who have been following us for a while will know that we recommend you guys to have a main CV. This literally has everything you've ever done on it. Then make a new CV for every job or internship you applied to by copying and pasting different sections. Sounds like effort, but worth it to know that the CV you're sending is the best for the job. This section is all about tailoring your CV for Adobe, which is what we're going to get to now. Let's start off with something easy. So every CV will need your basic details, contact info, academic grades, driving license, etc. Put this at the start of your CV. Try not to take up too much room though, as the best CVs are only two sides. When you start talking about your previous work experience, that's when you start making it as Adobe specific as possible. Really think about the role you're going for, whether that's product design, software engineering, or any of the others, even the research role. What kind of skills and attributes do you need to have, and how can you showcase those skills using past experience? If you're going for a creative role, you can include a portfolio, whether it's web designs, articles, or photo edits. Adobe want to see your creations. If you're applying for marketing or product management and you're worried you might not have enough experience, see if any of the societies or clubs at your uni need their social media pages running, or if there are any upcoming campaigns you can do the advertising for. Even if it's on a small scale, all experience is good experience. Or maybe you're applying for one of the tech roles. Use your CV to show off your skills with coding languages like Python, R, and Java. Go to uni office hours and ask your lecturer for their advice on what kind of problem solving would be best to showcase your abilities. Who knows? One of them could have a contact at Adobe who could tell you more about the role and what you need to do to secure it. You'd be surprised how many people have done exactly this and gained results. Don't worry, you don't have to have worked as a product manager or an IT engineer to apply. Think about your previous employment and what transferable skills you've gained. Have you worked in hospitality or retail? Talk about your teamwork abilities, experience at multitasking, or settling colleague disputes, linking them to Adobe's professional collaborative setting. Or maybe you volunteered at your local hospice, charity shop, or primary school. This is such a bonus if you have, as it fits right in with Adobe's ethical, moral, and inclusive ethos. Avoid using words like punctual, go-to person, and proactive. Whilst these might sound like they're selling you, trust us when we say they don't. Back up your attributes with specific examples, and if you're struggling to sell yourself without sounding cliche, use an online thesaurus. So now your CV's down, we're going to go on to how to perfect your cover letter. There are 3 things you should do in your cover letter. Tell them a little bit more about yourself, expand on the best bits of your CV, and show off your knowledge of Adobe as a company. Now obviously these will vary depending on what you're going for, but in terms of structure, it's always best to start as if you're going to be sending it by post, even though obviously you won't. This means putting your address and phone number in the top right corner and Adobe's company address on the left, a couple of lines above the body of the letter. In this introductory paragraph, you should explain who you are, why you're writing, and what role you're applying for. Don't feel the need to go on and on, because you'll need to keep the whole thing to one side. In the second paragraph, discuss your CV in more detail, specifically your most relevant work experience and highest achievements which link to the role you're going for. If you've shadowed someone who you think Adobe might be interested in, even if it was for only a day or 2, tell them. Or maybe you've spotted issues on a website or app you often use and you've got loads of ideas how you would improve them. Let Adobe know. Talk about skills you would bring to the role you want to intern for and why you would be a good addition to the Adobe team. Want to demonstrate your creative and tech outlook and let Adobe know how keen you are to work for them at the same time? Practice Adobe creative programs like InDesign, Lightroom, Illustrator, or any others until you're confident, and talk about the skills you've learned as a result. You can get all of these as a free trial, or if you're at university, ask your career service as they may provide you with the whole Adobe suite free of charge. This will show both your innovation and enthusiasm for the company. It's a win-win. Your third paragraph is for displaying your knowledge of all things Adobe. Elaborate on why you want to work with them specifically, as opposed to just focusing on why you're interested in design or tech or marketing, etc. Constantly think why Adobe when you're writing. Do a bit of research into their history, past products, and company ethos, and talk about what makes them stand out as somewhere you want to work. Lastly, end your cover letter with a call to action. Let them know your availability for an interview and thank them for reading. To sound as professional and polite as possible, close with "I look forward to hearing from you," followed by "yours sincerely" to sign off. So the next round of your application is a phone interview. I would say this is the trickiest of the interview formats as you won't be able to see the other person. But don't panic. We have a preparation checklist to help you feel as cool, calm, and collected as possible. We'll also be talking about how to nail an in-person interview as well, so let's jump into it. So an interview can feel really daunting, especially if you've never done one before. But don't worry, because we've covered all the bases. First and foremost, research, research, research. Go on Google and find out as much about the company as you can. Make a couple of notes on your favorite products, what makes them stand out from other competitors like Microsoft and Apple, and their upcoming projects. This is vital, as it demonstrates both your hard work and Adobe-directed ambition. Your research will definitely pay off, as according to Glassdoor, the interviews are fairly company-focused, so you don't want to risk being called out. Second, know your CV and cover letter inside out and backwards. It might have been a while since you wrote it, so reread a couple of times if necessary, as they may ask you a couple of questions about your past experience. And lastly, Think of some questions to ask. They always ask if you have any questions at the end of the interview, and this shows your curiosity and innovation if you say yes. Avoid asking about salary and benefits, and don't ask something that has a yes or no answer. Here are some examples of questions you could ask. If you were the CEO, what would you change about Adobe? What steps have you taken to get to where you are today in your career? So now you're all prepped. We're gonna go through our best hints and tips on how to ace the interview itself. Now, to make up for not being able to see the interviewer, try and vocalize your thought process as much as you can. This will lessen those awkward silences and give your interviewer a clearer insight into how your mind works, so they can see how you would fit in at Adobe. Try and think of the interview as a conversation to calm any nerves. We know it's hard. Previous Adobe interns described the company as open, collaborative, innovative, and forward-thinking. So try and demonstrate these attributes as much as you can. We're just going to touch on in-person interviews as well, because that will be part of the next bit of your application, which is an assessment center. Don't worry, we'll get to that later. So the prep stages are exactly the same, but this time you can see your interviewer and gauge their reactions. So life is a bit easier. Dress to impress. This is a crucial part of making a good first impression. Wear something smart, but make sure you're comfortable. If you're struggling, look at the workwear sections on retailers for some inspo. Take deep breaths, leave lots of travel time, and remember, the interviewer is just another person. They're not looking to trip you up. Try and treat it as a conversation by asking questions, listening, and being as engaging as possible. Smile and keep your head up to make sure you look confident even if you don't feel it. So as I just mentioned, the final bit of the standard internship process is a day at the assessment center. If you're applying for the research internship, jump to the time code in the description to know the last bits and pieces about the application process. As well as your individual interview, you'll likely have group problem-solving assignments to complete. Adobe aren't going to publish the questions they'll ask you online for us to tell you. Got it. But we will still have some advice on how to ace the day, so don't stress. The best advice we can give you is to listen to the instructions, engage with other people's ideas, and don't be afraid to share your own thoughts. Think, how would I best handle this situation? What are they expecting me to achieve here? Draw on past experience if you think it's helpful or relevant, but don't feel like you have to. Remember to ask questions as well, both about the task you've been given and to the managers there. You could ask them about their thoughts on the products currently being marketed and what they like about how the company runs. Try and at least ask one senior employee one question if you can. This shows your enthusiasm and interest, which is always a good thing. Previous Adobe interns have said how the Adobe environment was full of people who wanted them to succeed, so don't be afraid to add your own ideas to the conversation. So as I said before, there are a couple more things that add to the research internship application. When you initially send your CV, Adobe want you to also include a list of engineers and/or researchers you'd like to work with, along with your specific interests. Our advice here again would be to do as much research as possible. This will ensure you're putting the right people down who will benefit you professionally and who are the most compatible with your specific research aims. They do not give a word or page limit to this, and whilst no one likes a waffler, try and go into as much detail as you can. We would recommend having a paragraph to outline your research aims and interests, and then a list of paragraphs each explaining these in more detail, including who you would like to work with for each. You could even treat this like a cover letter in a way. So let's review. The main route into Adobe is through an internship, which can be done in the summer or for the whole year. This can be research-based or aiming for a specific role in the company, such as product management or software engineering. The application process requires a CV and a cover letter, leading to an interview in some format or another. The general internship may require an assessment day too. Best of luck, guys, and don't forget to check out the link to our website in the description below. We've written a detailed step-by-step guide on how to secure an internship at Adobe, and whilst you're there, consider signing up and joining the TapIn community. Thank you guys for watching. If you found this how to get into Adobe video useful, hit like on this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We do weekly videos preparing you for internships and grad jobs, and have loads more videos on how to get internships in media. Click here to check those out. If you have any questions, video ideas, or if there's something that you're stuck on, let us know in the comments and we'll get back to you soon. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with anyone who you think it can help, and I'll catch you next time.